Welcome to the Weabros Anime Podcast. My name is Arch, and my fellow co-host today is Ben.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be back, and I'm happy to be watching anime again.
Woo!
So we got a really exciting episode today because we have the return of Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
And the second half of Boku no Hero.
Ah, yeah.
Not to mention Steins Gate Zero also.
That's right.
And we did not mean to rhyme, but we did. So why don't we start off with some of our reviews for these past 3 episodes?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Steins Gate Zero, actually. I have to say that the latest episode right now, we just watched episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
13 and 14, though, have to get a quick shout-out because...
13 especially.
Oh, man. 13 just... Oh,
right.
yeah. Don't want to elaborate too much on that, but gotta say that those 2 episodes were really wild in the series.
Right.
But with the most recent one, I guess it more focuses on Daru becoming a man. That way Suzuha doesn't get to disappear into time. Mm-hmm. One thing that I do want to talk about is it's kind of funny how Daru is just like not a ladies' man or whatnot. And we saw a bit of a brainwash machine, I guess you could say, which is kind of interesting because, you know, there's a lot of theories going around.
With the events of the past 2 episodes,
Yeah.
you could kind of piece some things together there.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, this is so interesting. Because like when Suzuha saw the machine being brought out, she had like a look of disgust on her face.
Right.
But I think this might be like just the intro, like the prototype to like full on brainwash, you know.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
We're going to see. Maybe I'm just tripping out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll follow along.
It's hard
with
to
all
make
that.
theories with this show or to even make predictions because they always throw something else that just ruins everything that you thought was going to happen.
That's right.
But to go back to this episode, it was like a very lighthearted episode compared to the other ones. So the pace really slowed down here.
I think this is the only happy episode we're going to get in this entire series. Just like a nice little like breather here, but I think from this point, I think it's just gonna be all feels. Oh man, But
at the same time, we kind of did need the break. It was there was a lot of tension and it was very stressful the past few episodes, anyways. So we kind of did need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And not to mention, this does progress the story a bit because it is important to for Suzuha to actually stay there because that's something that's been an issue since she was brought up to the show is when is her dad and her mom going to actually get together because it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And you know what? It's a really funny relationship between their dad and Suzuha because it's like she's trying to play matchmaker for herself, kind of. It's kind of like Back to the Future. I don't know if you remember.
It is.
It's exactly like that. And her picture fading too is like pretty much a direct reference to that. But it's an interesting relationship because, I don't know, I just feel like if that was me going back to get my parents together, it's kind of weird. And even yelling at your dad or something, you know, like trying to give him a pep talk the way that she did.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but it's interesting too, though. Don't forget that.
Well, I gotta say that Daru did really well for himself. Like, I would have just cued the Mulan music, make a man out of you, when all the girls were giving him pep talk. No, but he did really good. One thing I do have to mention, though, they did have a feels moment at the very end there when they had Suzuha and her mom.
Right. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot that she finally realized, or pretty much was revealed that was going to happen, which was something that was like, they were trying so hard not to uncover in the earlier episodes because they were afraid if they did do that, she would just cease to exist because it would alter the timeline way too much if she knew that.
Man, this anime makes your brain hurt thinking about like all the things because you can do.
And then you think of all the timelines and you're like, okay, is this what's going on now? Okay, well.
And last thing I want to say about this episode, aside from that, is the new ending song.
Right, this has to be addressed. Not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all. The last one was so good, especially like during episode 13 when it played during, when
it was good before that, but that
it was
there, after that is
oh.
just solidified it as okay, this is a great ending.
Like something crazy is gonna happen when you hear the ending song playing before
when the credits are rolling while the animation's still going.
That's right. Yeah,
you better sit tight.
Unfortunately, with this new ending one though, like we can't expect anything out of this one. It's literally right out of. I mean, no offense to Initial D players, but it's literally out of Initial D soundtrack. It's just.
I feel like it just doesn't fit.
It's very unfortunate.
No,
but I do got to say the series is really picking up, and it's just going to get wild from here. It really is.
Wait and see.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and just move on to our next topic.
Yeah, now we're going to be talking about Boku no Hero.
Oh, yeah.
My Hero Academia. So the first thing I want to talk about, since it's a second half of a season, I guess, let's talk about the opening. I know there's a little controversy here between me and my boy here.
Okay, yeah.
But let's talk about it a bit. Because
go ahead and start it off. That's fine.
So as we know, the first maybe 12 or 13 episodes had a certain opening that, like, we didn't like it at first, but it grew on us. So
I mean, grew a lot though.
It just by halfway through this first half of the season, I love that song.
Yeah.
So we have a new one now. So okay, first of all, let's talk about it visually, just because I think the controversy comes in the actual soundtrack.
Okay.
Visually, it's good.
It's really good.
Right?
It is.
It's really good. It shows you new characters, all the other schools, students and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the whole All Might being Small Might forever
Small
thing.
Might, yes.
Yeah. So
poor Small Might, man.
Visually, it is. It's on point, really. Now, what about the actual song?
The song itself, man, I was super disappointed, all right? Because, like, the previous, like, openers are really good. I mean, the last one, like, it took a while for me, but it really became a really good opener for me. It's just that with this one, after listening to it a couple times, I do think it's okay, all right? I'm not going to lie. Like, I felt like it would grow on me a little bit, and it's okay. But it's just lacking something. Like, it doesn't have that epicness that it has. Like, when I hear the song, I don't sing along with it, I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is cool.
I sing along with it.
And I'm like, why isn't this on Netflix where I can click the skip intro button? Okay, all right, it's not that bad. Okay.
Blasphemy. He's going to end up liking the song by episode 20 or so. I already know it, but I know it takes a lot of time to get used to. For me, I mean, the first time I heard it, it just took me by surprise because you're used to hearing something else. Mm-hmm. So I was like, wait a minute, what is this? But, after maybe the second episode, I was like, okay, fine. I get it. I like this song. I understand where it's coming from. It's more... I mean, I know the pace is a little different now because, the All for One climax and One for All climax was like... After that, I guess, it's just like with Steins Gate. It goes up the roller coaster. Now you're going back down a little bit. So I guess the pace changed just because we need those breather episodes. So the opening kind of fit with it also. I do like it. It is just like the first one is keeping your ideals. Now it's making your own story. So I like it.
It's very, it's okay.
All right. Okay. So the latest episode was episode 15, I believe, was the latest episode we just watched.
I like to think so.
All right. So we just finished watching episode 15 today, and it's starting to pick up. It's really starting to pick up.
I'm really excited because, with all these shonens, there's all these tournaments that happen. And, this is kind of like, I guess, a tournament, but more so, an elimination, whatever. But the introduction of all these new characters and, the East versus West type of thing, it's very exciting. Let me go ahead and talk about one point that had happened in this episode that kind of caught us both by surprise. Was there was a girl who had an ability to bend as much as possible, I guess you could say. It looked like she died to Dark Shadow. It literally looked like she got swiped in half.
I thought she did.
I thought, and I was like, oh my God.
And then she pulled out of there, and
she pulled right out of her, that area.
Yeah, her nether regions, and there she was. That was interesting. I was like, what the heck? I really thought she died. I was like, dang, okay, well, I guess that happens in the show.
So one of the characters I want to talk about is Shindo, the guy who looks exactly
taller
like Midoriya. Literally exactly like him. His vibrate power.
Right.
It's very, very interesting. I mean, I do kind of like that. I mean, it's very powerful, but there also is some backlash.
Right.
What I'm really excited to see is maybe not right now, but later down the line, seeing where his power becomes, because this power kind of reminds me of a bit of I don't know if you remember One Piece's a Whitebeard.
Right.
Kind of power of vibration, and I'm just like manipulating, and I'm just like
The thing is when you at first glance you're like, okay, he could control the earth or something, or like he could do earthquakes, but it's more than that, which is cool. It's not boring, So I'm thinking if he touches someone and vibrates them enough, it could really mess someone up, But it will also mess him up.
One thing I want to say that he may be a girl's best friend at the same time.
Why?
Right. Okay. Why?
Anyways,
let's move on.
No, all right. So, the cool thing about this show, this episode is Shiketsu Academy.
Yes.
The more militaristic UA with their caps. They have really cool uniforms. First of all,
they look really sick.
They're super cool, but at the same time, they're the UA rivals. They're the Eastern UA.
Yep.
And so far, it hasn't disappointed with what the characters we've seen. Like, I forget his name already.
Talking about Yararashi?
Yeah, the wind, the cyclone. M. Bison. Okay, we'll talk about M. Bison. So obviously, he had a pretty... It wasn't a grand entrance, but it was a lot... We had a lot of expectations when we first saw him because Aizawa himself said, this guy just turned down the UA application and he was actually the top prospect, better than Todoroki, which is... That's high praise.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's good from Aizawa, who doesn't praise anybody, really. So when we actually saw his quirk, and it's just super OP. And it's really, really good for this challenge because basically no one could touch him since he's controlling the wind. It was a really good entrance, and I'm kind of excited to see how things turn out when we actually have to fight each other.
Oh, I know. With his entrance, he took out 120 people all at the same time. Which is crazy. I liked his character because even in the previous episode when he met, with the UA students, like he literally bowed his head with such, passion.
It's a weird kind of character because, normally those characters that are super broken that way are, they're either going to be really cocky or they're going to be those quiet types. This guy is like the comic relief that is super strong, and that's completely different from what we've seen so far.
Speaking of that school, one person I did want to talk about is Cammy. Her quirk is to turn into anyone, but like, how is she able to move so like silently though at the same time?
I don't know. I feel like since her quirk is an ability that you kind of got to sneak around anyways, she had something that she had to develop. Like she said, she had to disappear from people's senses. Which I thought was her quirk at first.
Yeah, it sounded like it was up until the point where, Deku goes and saves, Uraraka.
Right.
And all of a sudden, knight in shining armor, and all of a sudden, like, he slaps her hand like, hey! that's not you.
That was that moment I thought was going to be like a little cute moment, and then I was like, wait a minute, is she really that savage? But it turns out it's not her. She wouldn't do that.
No. But the cool thing about her, she did get naked for some reason. That's not the cool part. But, what I'm alluding to is when Zero, the tape guy, when he was asking Deku if, he was so passionate about, like, was she naked as Uraraka?
Right.
Which is kind of cool because now they're kind of giving more life to Zero, the tape guy, because we don't really get to see much.
I want to bring up more about Zero since, like you said, we don't really bring up much about him. And people are doing these ultimate moves, so, the acid girl is doing that little wall thing, and the ear jack is plugging it into an amplifier into the ground.
Yeah.
What actually happened in there is something that was very subtle. Is he actually had 3 tape? I think he held his fingers so that the tape would come out in 3s instead, which is super cool too.
I didn't even see, actually.
Yeah, he did 3 tape at once through one elbow, and I know it's a very little thing, but
it's those very subtle things that make.
I like how they're making their quirks more. They're simple on the outside, but they're very, very easy to make them broken like that. So I like how they're doing that.
That was really cool too. And another thing to talk about, speaking of like quirks, I want to talk about equipment. So with Deku's equipment, it's really cool because they kind of explained it a little bit more. Deku's just pretty much saying that his body's not fully ready, and he's accepted that. And with the equipment, it's making up for his lack of power. So it is showing his weakness right now, and that's really showing as a character. That way he can.
That's good though. You got to understand your weakness. That's the thing that Bakugo doesn't have right there. He doesn't embrace his weakness and build on it. So all the other characters do that.
Well, one last thing I do want to talk about this episode with is Todoroki. Versus the Naruto
Ninjas.
Squad. This is clearly going to be they're clearly just cannon fodder. They are just here to feed. And we're about to see Todoroki evolve in this process.
Probably he's going to destroy them. They have to put up a fight just because they're trying to showcase other schools' quirks and things like that, I think. Yeah. But I think by next episode he would have passed already.
But with that being said, I think we've touched up enough on My Hero Academia. This is going to be a really, really good show this season, if not the best.
I have high expectations for it.
With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic.
All right, the next anime we're talking about now is Attack on Titan Season 3. Really, really awesome that it's back so soon because Season 2 took forever to show up.
Oh, that years, man.
Yeah,
years.
So Season 3 just started last weekend. We're on episode 2 now, or we've just finished episode 2.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it? Or the series, actually.
Okay, so series so far is actually really good. It started really strong, and it's continually just still being very exciting,
right.
I want to say. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and just start from the very beginning. Let's go talk about the opener, okay? I was very disappointed with the opener. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan about epic pianos, but I was expecting so much from Attack on Titan. But to be fair, at the same time, like it's really hard to top the that's really it's hard. But what do you think about that?
I like it, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
I'll tell you why I like it. Of course, we're going to talk about the visuals again. The visuals are great. You see a lot of, reminiscing about the past when they're children. Yeah. But I feel like Attack on Titan doesn't have to be hyped anymore or hyped up anymore. It's gone through 2 seasons. You already know what it is. It's Attack on Titan. People are going to watch it anyways.
Yeah.
Now it's a more slowed down song that I feel like has more meaning to it in terms of look where they've come from to what they are now. Because it showed, Armin and Mikasa and Eren as kids. Levi as a youngster, which is actually really relevant on the story for season 3 because now his past is coming back to literally get him, and it shows Erwin too, but I don't know what's going on with that yet. But I just like that I'm with you. I wish there was more hype, but I understand why they changed it.
In terms of storytelling, though, it really is good because you get to see everything, as you said, like with the past, and it really fits with the music. Because I think I would want to categorize this opener as like a power ballad. I guess you could say
power ballad.
And you can tell it's very touchy. You see Eren looking out into the water, thinking,
and he gets bumped into by little Eren, or little Eren just looking at him like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?"
He's not focused on his past anymore. He's looking.
Yeah,
he's looking
there
forward.
You go. He's looking forward from now on. I like this season so far because normally when you're watching a new season or a new anime altogether, it's pretty slow in the beginning. There might be that one big impactful part to hook you, but that's it. But this one, since you're picking up where you left off, and a lot has happened since season 2, actually, feels like the Levi squad actually consists of Jean and Sasha, Armin. They're the new Levi squad
the new
now.
Levi squad.
And they're actually working separate from the government now. They're they have to hide and be all secretive now because apparently the military police is after them.
So many secrets going on beyond these walls.
A lot of conspiracy is going on.
Yeah.
Since season 1, the Titans on the wall, and now it's all coming together.
I want to say that I kind of like the direction that it's going in, especially with Levi, because we seen Levi as the head honcho, this big scary guy who's the best of the best.
He's the character in the show that just seems like he can't die.
And then now we're starting to learn about his weaknesses or his past vulnerabilities. Yeah, and in the entire beginning of the second episode here, we just see him running away, just trying to survive, trying to get to a place. The turning point was when he did have the talk with his what's that guy's name?
Kenny.
The turning point was when he was talking with Kenny in the bar. And, the moment that he shot the shotgun, everything switched around. He went into, his animal instinct mode, just kicked in and just started just killing people.
Oh, man. First of all, let me just talk about just getting to that point also, and, of course, the rest of the episode. The animation right now is just off the charts right now. It is ridiculous, how great the animation is.
They are really giving back to the community here because the animation that they really spent some money on it.
They've Attack on Titan always had good animation, but I'm glad that they're continuing that tradition. And oh man, it's really hard to pull off too because the 3D maneuver gear and going through the streets like that. It's really hard to animate that and still be able to follow it. But I understood what was going on the whole time, and it was great.
And like even the little subtle things, like when you see all of them like maneuvering in the air, like you see like this little strings that are attached to all the wires,
and then the wind, like gust of wind that's behind them.
The small details that the animation is so key in this one.
Let's go back into Levi actually fighting back now, and oh man!
Yes.
So as we all know, the people that are chasing him are Kenny's men, and they have like these pistols. They have these hand cannons.
Which, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I just want to say that it really feels like we're just kind of going back into time a little bit because it's making us feel like it's like a Western appeal.
Because he has the cowboy hat too.
Cowboy
Kenny,
hat.
and meet in the saloon,
yeah.
Right? And the way he walks into, but. Let's talk about how it's kind of like they have the guns, right? So
they do.
Levi is pretty much like, okay, what's he gonna do? He's unarmed. Yeah. He has like a sword.
He's a
but
melee guy.
Yeah, he has to be up close. So now he's just pulling people in one by one with his 3D maneuver gear, and it's just really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting that to be his course of action. I thought he was gonna get close and then just destroy him, but instead he just like scorpioned him over the entire way, and even like through the neck and. It was just so savage, and that it kind of brought back to why this guy is so badass. Like he even took one of the dead bodies.
The first guy he took by the head, he used him as the bullet sponge.
Oh man!
So it's really, really great to see it, and it's funny to see that it's against humans now because you could tell he's really proficient with just killing in general, not just Titans. Yeah. So
it really seems like with these animes that we're watching right now, it just seems like there's like a kind of spy, I guess, going on, or something. Like there's a kind of conspiracy where it goes from good guys versus bad guys to now good guys trying to figure out who's the bad guy within the good guy. Like My Hero Academia as well.
One of the teachers or somebody even is
someone
spilling the beans to the League of Villains.
That's right. Yes.
So with this episode also, I have one critique, and it's kind of what I don't like in some TV shows. Like, let me explain a bit. So in The Walking Dead, you're killing zombies. Zombies are the main threat.
Yep.
And then it eventually turns into fighting against humans. Yep. And I feel like it's following that same path where, all right, killing Titans is cool and all, but we're gonna have to fight humans. Like there's a, not that it's bad, not that that's bad, because it's actually as we've seen, there's some really, really good potential there in terms of fight scenes and animations, and in terms of progressing the story or putting a wrench in the story that you never thought would happen. Yeah. But I just don't like that, it's Attack on Titan, now it's Attack on Humans. So, all right, that's just my little 2 cents there. No, I still like it.
I get that. I mean, you knew eventually would have to come to this. Like, there had to be some kind of something going on the inside.
Speaking of what's going on, like, there's those risks. I mean, I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on?
Let's, before we get to that, let's just touch upon one of the other scenes. Let's go and touch about Armin's character development here.
Right. Okay.
Poor Armin is all I have to say, first of all. First episode back in, he gets molested.
He was pretending to be Historia, and then this kidnapper was just...
You're so muscular.
Groping him. And poor Jean having to see it and turning away. Okay.
So I want to say that with those two, it seems like these two are getting relatively closer together, like as the two characters. And as we've seen in this episode, when Armin has to pull the trigger,
and really, Jean couldn't.
Poor Jean. I mean, I understand why he didn't, but I hope to see a lot more from him. I hope this is going to be
I think that's the turning point. Yeah. I mean, he was just inches away from getting killed right there, and for a while we thought he did, because that was like the little cliffhanger right there.
And you knew something was up. You're like, this could be anything, but
at the same time, it's Attack on Titan. He could have just got shot in the face and continue moving along. I do like what you said about Armin and Jean, because they do have a close relationship. Like if we look back to the end of season 2, when the Colossal Titan or the Armor Titan was throwing Titans, and Jean fell off the horse, Armin had to grab him, and he's just flailing his sword. So Armin, time and again, is saving Jean. So, but it's weird because he's the last person you'd think that would do that.
So are we shipping them?
Yes. Charmin.
Okay.
Armin.
All right. Let's move to the next one here. Let's go talk about the torture scene that we seen there. So what's the captain's name, or the girl's captain name?
Hanji.
Yeah, right? Her the not pretty one.
The one with the glasses.
Yeah, the one who's so fixated on Titans. So she's finally able to get her torture revenge now, as she kind of foreshadowed in the beginning,
in the first episode,
with her little soliloquy saying, I'm gonna just go ahead and do 10 times as much worse to this whatever it is. Although she did admit that she really didn't know what she was doing, which made sense. But I just love how they had set up the other guy to reading off of like a little script. Yeah. That was great to get the other guy to talk, and he talked so quick.
Instantly. And what did we learn about that? He actually said the real royal family is the Reese family. Reese family.
The Reese family.
Which so happens to be Historia's last name. So Historia is of royal descent. So I think that's why they were making a big deal about who she was the last season. Even though we didn't know, but we knew she was important.
Now we know.
Now we know. She's royalty.
I mean, speaking of last names that were thrown out.
Right. This is the big one right here.
Oh, man.
And it was thrown out so casually, just like whatever.
Oh, man. So Kenny just throwing out, Levi's name, because clearly, they've known each other since they were younger. Brother, sister?
I don't know. Okay, so Kenny kills one of the merchants that actually turned into... one of their allies, and then he's having a conversation. I don't think they've mentioned that blonde girl's name yet, but she seems to be like the right-hand man to him. But so Kenny killed him and started saying, I raised him, so I know what his tendencies are, what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And he even said that's how Levi Ackerman is, which just so happens to be Mikasa's last name. So
it would make sense, man, because they both have like
both
that.
OP.
Yeah, they're both really good at what they do, and also they have like that. Very they don't care really about anything. Like they're very just like cool-headed at all.
I just wonder what their relationship is though, because they don't know that they're each other's related to each other at all.
I don't think.
Maybe Levi does, because Levi knows her last name, but no one really knew Levi's last name. So prior to this, we already knew about Mikasa's family history. They were killed by those bandits and sex trafficker people.
Yeah.
And we have no idea. They never talked about a brother, and she never talked about a brother. So. I'm thinking just maybe a distant... he's a cousin or something. Maybe. Because he was an orphan. Right? He's an orphan.
Oh, they're totally going to make it brother-sister. They're going to make it a big one.
Maybe half-brother? Maybe the dad was sleeping around?
Maybe he's the dad.
No.
Okay, no.
He's way too young to be the dad.
It's going to be big brother-sister reveal at some point. And it's going to be at a turning point when someone dies or... when they can't. It's going to be really crazy. I know they're already setting this up. By releasing that information, like... something's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen to Mikasa.
I hope it doesn't happen to Levi.
Oh, it's going to happen to Levi.
That's a riot right there. That's a riot waiting to happen.
I know.
And I just love... Okay, I want to go back to how you're saying they just casually throw things out. That's like Attack on Titan, though, now that I realize it. I'm the Armor Titan.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was exactly
I'm the Colossal Titan. What? Okay. It's like a little tiny thing that turns into a nuclear bomb. But, yeah, that whole scene right there revealing that his last name was actually such a tiny scene, but it just holds so much weight to it.
So crucial too.
Yeah. So what happened after that?
Well, I think the last thing I want to talk about with this particularly is that there's a constant reoccurring, not theme, but thing that is happening, and that's Eren just
getting kidnapped
left
over
and
over again.
Kidnapped by Titans, kidnapped by humans.
Yeah, he just can't catch a break.
Poor guy. I mean, even right now in his Titan form, which looks like he's having a lot of trouble with too. So I hope we're able to figure out what's going on with that, because it literally looked like his Titan had a turkey butt. If you guys saw that scene, literally looked like a turkey butt. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, it used to be such a badass Titan, and now something is going on.
They were trying to make a wall, or trying to harden him, do the hardening. So I think that he's still normal. But I think that was the last scene, was Historia, and was that her dad? Was that her dad?
I think it's her dad.
She was apologizing, so her dad is actually in on it too. Eren was right there just staring. He was just laying down, still kind of like out of it.
I mean.
I think they were also saying that they need to get Eren back because he's going to get eaten.
Yeah, that's
otherwise,
right. Yeah, so
here's what I think it is.
Oh boy.
He has the coordinate ability. I feel like the next Titan that eats him gets that ability is what's going on here.
Oh,
and I think that's what the royal family is trying to create their own Super Titan or whatever.
Oh,
because there are other cities other than here, like the one Reiner and Bertholdt are from. So maybe they're fighting each other or using Titans.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, when I heard he got eaten, because that's the only reason why it would matter if he was eaten.
That would.
You know?
So eat a Titan, get his power. Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, so that's kind of what they're trying to go for, I think.
It's like Sylar from Heroes.
Except he has to eat them.
Jesus.
So I think that's what they're getting to. We'll just have to see.
Oh, well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'd say right now, out of the 3 that we've talked about, I think this one is...
It was just so action-packed, and it's episode 2. Like, that's the thing.
It's not just the action-packed behind it. It's just like, you know...
Well, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, the story behind it, too. Like, the subtle drops of, hints of what's going on, too. Like, there's a giant story waiting to happen.
Yeah, so
this
to recap, it's 2 last names were given out. 2 people were kidnapped.
Maybe
Kenny's crazy.
Yep, and maybe 6 people were scorpioned by Levi's.
6 people got scorpioned. I think we have to go on and say that once again there's a government conspiracy. Yeah. So there's more going on behind the scenes than we thought. Of course there was. So we'll just have to see, though. I mean, it's hard to make theories right now.
Yeah,
it's too early.
Oh, but I can't wait. Hopefully Eren gets eaten.
All the anime readers right now, all the manga readers right now are just shaking their head.
I bet. But with that being said, guys, I think that's... I think we're actually, with this season, it's looking really good. Like, spring of 2018 was really great. But with this one, I mean,
it just started, and I'm super hyped every week.
This could be the best one of the year, I think.
It's going to take the cake. I think by the end of the day, it's going to take the cake.
Oh, man. But United States Smash, we'll see.
United States Smash is the best moment of 2018. I'm going to say that right now. There's nothing that could top that.
And with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a day here.
Yeah, please go ahead and subscribe to us on iTunes if you're listening. Maybe leave it a good review or bad review. You know what I mean?
You could, yeah.
Criticism is great.
That's right.
And also, if you're watching, give us a like on YouTube, or subscribe to us there too. So
yeah, please
and
do.
Also, of course, leave a comment if you have any issues or praises.
Yeah, or if you have any theories, just no spoilers. Please.
No spoilers, please. Please, no spoilers.
All right, guys, and with that being said, we will see you all again next week for the next recap. Thanks for watching. See you then.